Americans finally found the recipe for continuity in the Ryder Cup and President's Cup. The key now is to avoid a closed shop. Jim Furyk is the Ryder Cup captain for next year's matches in Paris, and it will be the fourth straight team event that he is assigned a radio and a cart. He was an assistant captain the previous 3 cups in South Korea, Hazeltine and Liberty National. Furyk has appointed only one assistant so far, Davis Love III, who will be involved for the 6th time in the last 7 years. Love, popular among the players, was the Ryder Cup captain in 2012 and 2016 and an assistant at the President's Cup in 2013, 2015 and 2017. Steve Stricker was an assistant for 3 straight years before taking over as President's Cup captain at Liberty National. He is a strong candidate to be the Ryder Cup captain for 2020 when the matches are held at Whistling Straits in his home state of Wisconsin. It would not be surprising to see him in Paris. This was all part of the plan. Among the strategies that came out of the Ryder Cup task force was to choose assistants who either were past captains or would be considered as future captains. It only made sense to apply the concept to the President's Cup. But it led to a question that made Phil Mickelson pause. With such a solid core, which includes Tiger Woods and Fred Couples, how does anyone join the club while be starting to have turnover and stuff, Mickelson said. It's a good question, but we're only 3 years in. The turnover should start in the next few months, and it's one reason that Furyk is more than just a little curious whom the PGA Tour will select as the next President's Cup captain for 2019 in Australia. Ron Cross, the senior vice president in charge of the President's Cup, said the tour was still in the early stages of the process. Any decision should not be expected until early next year. Whoever it is just might be among the 5 assistants that go to Paris. There's a lot of similarities between the cups, Furyk said. It's been good for me to work on both. I would have been bummed not to have been at the President's Cup. Stricker fought hard for me to join. It was good to be there with the guys. And I think it was good for them to see me there. 2 names that merit consideration are Justin Leonard and David Toms. Under this new blueprint, they both might seem like outsiders, and they shouldn't be. Leonard played on 8 teams, and he hit one of the most memorable Ryder Cup shots with a 45-foot birdie putt on the 17th hole at Brookline in 1999. More than most Americans, Leonard has mainly positive memories from the Ryder Cup. His record was 246, which can be looked at 2 ways. He only won 2 matches. He only lost 4 out of 12. In the 3 Ryder Cups he played, the Americans won 2 of them. The former British Open champion spends most of his time in the broadcast booth these days. He expects to be in France next year, at the very least for NBC and Golf Channel. He would love to be there as an assistant if the door can be opened. 10 years ago, I would have thought I'd be a Ryder Cup captain, Leonard said Tuesday. Sitting here today, I don't think it will happen. He has not had any contact with anyone. Leonard also wonders if there is room for newcomers when so much has been made about the continuity of past captains and assistant captains that move from cup to cup. When that task force was formed, everything has stayed within that group, he said. But that group eventually will stop doing it. I don't know what the answer is. Leonard feels that Toms should get a close look. Toms played on 7 national teams and was captain of the Junior President's Cup this year. He was considered a favorite to be Ryder Cup captain in 2014 until former PGA of America president Ted Bishop opted for Tom Watson. After the task force, Love was given a second captaincy. And now it's getting crowded. Still in the pipeline are Stricker, Mickelson and Woods. In one respect, these are good problems for the Americans to have. More than a decade ago, the 2 cups were so disconnected that anyone who was a President's Cup captain hurt his chances of ever becoming a Ryder Cup captain. There was no continuity, Mickelson said. The vice-captains didn't transfer over. We weren't using it effectively. Now we've got a nice road map to success. There's so much continuity between the President's Cup and the Ryder Cup that we already have 3 pairings set for next year. The American talent is so deep that a few new players are expected for Paris. Next on the list is finding room for new assistants, who might someday have a chance to be captain for either cup.